Welcome to National Focus. I'm Kimani. Coming up, first 50 Petro Casas on island, and the agriculture sector looks to herbs to add value to the industry. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this. Thanks for staying with us. The Ministry of Public Works and by extension government is looking to engage in works to improve access in and out of Roseau. At a press conference on Wednesday, the Honorable Acting Prime Minister Reuben Blackmore announced that efforts will be made to restore access through the West Bridge, which suffered structural damage during Tropical Storm Erica.
The long-term plan is to construct a new West Bridge, but based on some technical advice that we have received, there is some corrective work that can be done to the West Bridge. And in the interim, with a view of reopening the West Bridge in a matter of a week, I've been advised, so for vehicular traffic access. That to me is very important. You have to have a sense of commerce is back into a major city, more so the city of Roseau. And the other issue is that we know that between the two bridges, namely the East Lower Black Bridge and the West Bridge, the road was seriously washed away or undermined. So we're going to ensure that in quick time, a returning wall is constructed between those two bridges, and for the express purpose also of restoring access there.
Works will also be undertaken to redredge the Roseau River. The Dominica Chinese-Friendship Bridge is also expected to be restored within the next month. The Honorable Acting Prime Minister Reuben Blackmore called a press conference on Wednesday to bring the country up to date on post-tropical storm Erica recovery efforts. Among them, the restoration of vehicular access to the communities of Delis and Boitica, which were cut off from the rest of the island, the commencement of construction of homes for those who were displaced, the state of the island as it relates to tourism, and to update on ongoing works at the Douglas Charles Airport.
There are some safety issues that we had to address as a temporary measure, and recently you would have seen the fencing of the runway, but we have been able to get professional advice as to the external works we need to do to get the airport back how it used to be.
Currently, night landing at the Douglas Charles Airport has been affected due to flood waters of the Tropical Storm Erica. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Public Works, Kendall Johnson, gives more details on restoration efforts.
We have quantified, with the help of a local professional engineer, the damage to the facility in excess of $41 million. We have packaged the rehabilitation works in two phases. One will look at the fencing, the runway, the taxiway, apron, and the landside access roads. Phase 2 needs a bit more detailed intervention because of the dynamics of the Melville River. Of concern as we go later in the year is the issue of lighting. Currently, the airport lighting was damaged. So we are also seeking proposals for the installation of the runway lighting. We have discussed the matter with the Aviation Authority, and we are proposing the installation of a solar lighting system that can be controlled by the air traffic people.
Honorable Blackmore also explained that the current fencing of the runway is to deter stray animals. A more permanent solution will be sought in the near future. The Ministry of Agriculture is looking at local herbs as a way to generate more income for farmers. Local herbs are now being sought after on the regional and international market as a prime commodity. The ministry is very keen on tapping into that market and is in the process of having a select group of farmers groomed to supply that demand. Director of Agriculture is Ricky Brumand.
we have had discussions, or myself, we've had discussions with Dr. Defoe, and I know where she's coming from, and it's something that farmers themselves have to break away from a cycle of doing some things traditionally, and we want to engage them to start thinking outside of your normal way of doing business. Herbs provide or present a very good opportunity and provide for the opportunity to make money. And so the discussion that we've had is to hopefully looking at some farmers that will do things for her. They're not only herbs but there's also the idea of ginger, growing ginger for her. And we have to select a group of farmers, work with them, who will understand to the price mechanism, because at the end of the day, she processes.
One company in Dominica, Caribbean Agro Producers, has been producing herbal teas since 2006. CEO Dr. Gail Defoe says the demand for herbs is more than her company can supply.
The active ingredient in here is now being produced by a German pharmaceutical. It's being used to treat 5 of the most difficult to treat cancers. The doctor who was behind this came from the Maroons of Jamaica, who had used it for 500 years to treat cancers. And the doctor behind this is Dr. Lawrence Williams in Jamaica. He was recently offered $11 billion Jamaican, because he was the one behind the pharmaceutical company who is now producing it as a pharmaceutical, and he turned it down. So there's not enough money. As we're not looking at $1 billion market, we're looking at $1 trillion markets. I'm speaking about one herb. Okay? I can take another herb here. Glory flower. Extremely good, even for HIV. Extensively used by China for 2,000 years. This is marketed to be one of the top herbs to be researched over the next couple of years. We have them all in Dominica. We have them all in Dominica. I'm talking about the potential that there is in the market for herbs. We haven't scratched the surface yet. I'm just looking at 2 herbs. I'm not talking about what I have researched. I'm talking about what is internationally researched, but available to us within our country.
Dr. Defoe says a new generation of farmers could potentially tap into the $1 trillion market.
Farmers that we want to get into have to be engaged. They have to be aware. The markets are different. And so we have to be very conscious of the farmers that we get, but I think it would be really interesting, especially in young people, to actually be a part of a growing market. As I said, we talk about $1 million markets, and we talk about $1 billion markets. When we talk about herbs, we're talking about $1 trillion market. That's what herbs are right now in the world, $1 trillion market.
GIS News will bring you a more in-depth report in tomorrow's newscast. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Introducing the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app, available for download from the Google Play Store, One Mobile Market, and the Government of Dominica's website. Access to all ministries and sub-departments' phone, email and office addresses and websites. Simply select a ministry and the sub-department. You can dial directly from the app or save the numbers to your phone contacts. It's convenience at your fingertips.
Is my passport ready for pickup? Good. It really works.
Download the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app today.
Welcome back. The first 50 Petro Casas donated to Dominica by the Venezuelan government are on island. Following the passing of Tropical Storm Erica, a number of Dominicans were displaced, and in some instances, entire communities were evacuated. At a press conference on Wednesday, coordinator of resettlement efforts, Luce Blackmore, reported that over 450 homes were affected.
To date, we have done the analysis and the required evaluation and assessment. And as of last week, we have recorded that 454 households have been affected. The most being that in the Petite Savanne region, where you have 216 households and the population of about 751 persons were displaced. In Jubic, we had the numbers, the tremendous impact in that the entire community had to be relocated as well. We had some 37 households in there and about 137 persons in there.
Collyho, Kulibistri and Checkhall were among other communities affected. Blackmore says as part of resettlement efforts, the community of Campbell will also be considered. He says resettlement efforts will happen in a very timely and organized manner.
We have to do things right from the first time. So we have a very two-tier approach, meaning that we have very dire needs within the Dubic and Petitsavan area. So the focus we're having, since that some of the sites that we have identified in the south region, in the Granby area of Center, Agricultural Center, and of course in the Geneva Flat, they can be seen as very accessible sites with most of the infrastructure components within close reach and can be very easily put into place. So it makes it much easier for us, given the fact that they can be seen, especially in the area of Granby, as an extension to the village.
The first 50 of the 300 homes gifted to Dominica by the government of Venezuela arrived on island on October 20th. They will be constructed in Grand Bay for residents of Dubic who were displaced after Tropical Storm Erica. As the resettlement efforts continue, 10 potential sites have been located for the construction of Petro Casas. These include Warner Flats, Bellevue-Chopin, Cotton Hill and La Plaine. Blackmore assures that houses will meet industry standards.
Now the issue that we are faced with, since that we have to ensure that the sites, the necessary studies are undertaken. As you know, we are very sensitive now to the whole issue of floods, not only flood, I think now the average Dominican, whenever they hear a very serious rainfall, they get very jittery. So we are mindful of the fact that we have to subject all the sites to very critical, stringent hazard analysis. And the hazard analysis we're looking at is whether the floods, the landslide, the mudslide, and seismic disturbances as well, even the exposure to wind, because we're still very vulnerable to hurricanes.
He says the social implications of resettling families is also being considered. The resettlement program will cost government $92 million. The Dominica State College, through institutional partnership CAR_18 project, is offering the following 12-week pre-technology courses commencing January 2016. Bartending, housekeeping, landscaping, and maintenance. Interested persons between the ages of 15 to 29, unemployed, and not at school with 3 CXCs or less are asked to register at the Dominica State College, Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, members, village council offices, or contact Don Francis at 315-5128 for more information. This is a pre-technology initiative project funded by colleges and institutes Canada and UK aid. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, ministre Telecoms Honorable Kelva Darrow a complimenté l'école Convent à Wozo pour programme ITIO. Honorable Darrow fait parole pendant la cérémonie où la tablette est présentée par 3 l'école secondaire à Wozo Mikwidi.
Et puis, je dit bon compliment pour l'école Convent Secondary. Petit secondaire Convent, c'est l'école, il y a un bon programme qui a fait Haïti. Et puis ces enfants-là, ces parents là, c'est moun hors de l'école, yo ça aller au website Convent et puis yo ça fait tous les bagailles qui a fait et puis l'école là. Et puis ça c'est un bon biteur. Et puis je dit tous l'école secondaire pour point en page hot Convent pour faire bagaille ça là hot ICT. Et puis actuellement nous finissons puis c'est l'école secondaire.
Alors, nouvelle, ministre Public Works a fait report qui l'occasion de Big et Petit Savane bien vulnérable depuis court temps Erika. Si l'on permanent sécurité en ministre Kai Lucien Blackmore, on leur donne l'occasion aussi vulnérable.
Vous savez déjà, la décision là déjà faite pour ces places contre Dubic pour vivre jusqu'à 2000 ces places-là ont toute qualité de vulnérabilité, toute qualité de hazard. Il n'y a pas qu'à faire sens pour mettre le monde en qualité de condition ça là. So, décision là déjà faite. Du big ever Peter Savan, il bien, il plus advance, bagaille plus mal de ce que commencer avec eux. Mais toutes sortes de places là quand store, un point de quarry, Font Saint-Jean, Retour, Fab et Bacatel, nous pouvons visiter ces places-là pour relocate aussi, resettlement. Nous aussi nous pouvons garder des places comme Campbell, puisque nous Campbell toujours nous tremble parlement de terre. Même façon là, nous pouvons garder des places comme Saint-Sauveur, Good Hope et Petite Sauveur aussi pour faire certains nous rebâtir ces places-là à une occasion pour faire certains monde plus safe et monde plus confortable c'est là où on vivre.
En nouvelle, ministre agriculture bien plaisir délégation Martinique qui visite le pays pour une assistance bailleur. Parole celle-là sortie au directeur agriculture Ricky Brumant.
Eh bien, nous bien contents aujourd'hui qui nous ni ces hommes de Martinique. Nous bien contents qu'ils sont venus Dominique pour garder ça qui a passé un pays là après Erika. Nous avons discuté avec eux, le permanent secrétaire GIS, moi nous parlé avec eux, quand ça fait pour aider Dominique. Nous comprenons comme que c'est pas obligé autant habiter ça fait, mais petit là ça fait, ça aide planter nous, ça été monde qui a planté manger un pays là pour faire Saint Dominique progrès, Dominique développer après Erika. Nous yo allé au pays là, yo allé mon assez West Coast là. Aujourd'hui yo allé assez sudiste. Yo regarder voir encore ça Eric a fait, compris ça c'est ça c'est planté là un pays là souffert. Yo mon quoi yo j'avoue yo peut-être vrai. C'est Macouchoui, le Colibistri, ça c'est monde ça a souffert ou penser comme que yo bien besoin n'importe assistant au Satapé de Martinique. Et nous, comme on dit, premier, nous sommes bien contents parce que c'est nom ça ici. Nous sommes bien contents qui planter nous Dominique qui taper encore assistant pour ça y fait pour la vie familiale.
Et puis finalement, la législation que le gouvernement Dominique est passé pour Consumer Protection, ça c'est pour protéger le public là qui a acheté des commodités de l'occasion business, ça très important. Parole celle-là sur le directeur commodité Marfan Walter, qu'on département commodité qui a une series workshop à ce sujet ça semaine ça.
Pour le gouvernement, là, pour tout le monde qui a gagné bagay, c'est un bagay qui est très important. Là où on prend l'argent au travail pour gagner souliers, ou pour gagner en hard pour mettre assis, en cherche pour ciser, vous voulez savoir que si pièce bite fait, si il pas il décalé vite. On est en place où ça allait pour taper un remède pour ça et on est en loi aussi qui a certainement que ou taper remède ça là. So ça c'est un bagage qui est très important pour protéger le monde.
Walter fait parole que la législation là c'est pour toute l'occasion business en Dominique.
Oui. C'est pas une loi qui a gardé, même si c'est en Chine, même si c'est en monde dominicain, même si c'est en monde Barbade ou Jamaica. C'est une loi qui tout le monde qui a un bagage business, même si c'est un service, en good, loi ça là qui est protecté aussi PSBT fait.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day. Today I will share a few tips for preventing acne. Keep your face clean. Whether or not you have acne, it's important to wash your face daily to remove impurities, dead skin cells, and excess oil from the skin surface. Use warm, not hot, water and a mild facial cleanser to remove the excess oils. And drink lots of water. That will help you keep your skin hydrated and free from any impurities. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kimani. Thanks for watching, and do join us again next time.